The next part is going to be the businessman. This is the bottom half of the human animal hybrid. We're going to do some cutout, some masking, and then some color correction and even some spot correction. So let's go ahead and do that next. So we're going to go to File, Open, and you can see here they have a portrait of a businessman. I also got this off of Unsplash, and we're going to cut out the businessman's suit, arms, torso, everything but the head and the background. I'm going to use the same technique for this. I'm just going to go ahead and with the pen tool make a selection around this. I want to be very careful to get as much of this color as possible so it looks like it's going to interact with our animal neck. So that's important. So cut out the neck, but make sure you leave all of the color that you can in your photo. All right, I'll fast forward through this as well. One trick here is it's really dark here, so it's hard for me to make a selection. So how do I solve that? Well, what I can do is first I'm going to go ahead and call this selection just so that if I accidentally start making a new path like this, it won't overwrite what I've already done. But I don't want that path active because what I'm going to do is just add a curve here and make the whole thing brighter. And if I have my path selected, it'll try to use that path to make a vector mask. So just make sure you have your path unselected or do it before you start making your selection. All right, now I can go ahead, select that, click on the end there so it's continuing the same selection, and then I can keep going here. All right, there you go. That finishes our selection. Let's right mouse click, go make selection, and then I can throw away this curve and then add a mask to this layer. Before I go ahead and bring this into my other file, I do want to just clean up a couple spots here. I'm going to go on my main layer, go to my spot healing brush, clean up that spot, just kind of go through here. Make sure there's no other obvious spots. I think those are the main two. Can even get rid of a couple of these spots in his hand. That one there. Okay. All right, so now I can right mouse click, convert to smart object, and then just drag this into here. I'm gonna put it at the very top. I can actually take all these layers, put them in a folder called deer, and then take my suit layer here. I'm just going to line up the neck where I want the neck to be, which is right about there. And here I'm just lining up this right here with the existing neck. So something like that. And then if I do Command T to bring up transform, make sure you have your anchor point turned on. And then if you hold down Option and start dragging, you'll see your anchor point is at the tip of your mouse. Put that right there where you don't want it to change. And then holding Option, you can just shrink everything until the other side here matches up with the neckline. So right about there, hit OK. You can see there's a little bit of an edge on there. I'm not crazy about that. So I'm just going to double click in here, put on a white background, and then in here, I'm just going to clean up this black edge. You want to make sure when you make a selection of a white object that it has no halo, because that will become quite obvious as you start working with that in your layer stack. So let's make sure this little black line here is gone, like so. Let's make sure there's not one on the other side here. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead, throw away that white background, and then save this, and it will update in our file. There you go, that looks much better. All right, the next thing I want to do is color correct this suit to match up closer to this. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and add a curves layer. I'm going to clip it to this layer, select my neutral eyedropper, and just click on the jacket anywhere. That's going to make my fine corrections just to get rid of whatever color grade was on there. And then I want to bring up the lights. Now you can see my blacks aren't black. I want to fix that. I'm just going to bring the black so that my blacks are true black, matching the black here. So something like that. And then maybe something like this. I think there's a little too much red. So maybe we can just go into the red, take that down just a tiny bit more. Something like that looks pretty darn good. All right, the next thing we're going to do is take both of these, make a copy, and then do Command E to merge them. And this is going to be our glow copy. And what I want to do here is basically just select the dark parts of the suit. So I'm going to use a quick selection for this. We'll just do kind of, oops. Let's make sure we're on our quick selection. This. And then we'll just cut this out with a little lasso. Okay, that's good enough for my purposes. I'm going to go ahead and add a mask to this and then put this on screen. And really, I just want this to affect these like kind of edge highlights. So what I'm going to do is do a curve on this and just basically get rid of all the dark information. So it just has that light information there. I can even push that light information up like this. And then I'm also just going to make it black and white. So now we just have this adding a little bit of edge lighting up here, which makes sense if our light source is coming from the top. If we don't want so much down here, I can always just paint in my mask with a black brush like so. Okay. Next thing I want to do is make this tie match up with these. Now, pretty easy to do that because I already have a gradient map of those colors. So what I'm going to do is just select my pen tool and select out the tie. All right, so now I can right mouse click, make selection, and I want to go on the suit layer here. Take my gradient map, just drag that there, and then delete this layer mask and then add a new layer mask. So now this layer mask is just affecting the tie, but because the tie has no light colors, all we're getting is the dark end right here of this gradient map. So what I need to do is brighten it up. So I'm going to go ahead and Command click on this mask to get that selection, and then add a curve layer underneath the gradient maps. Now if I push this up, you can see it's going to start getting the same colors as here. It's a little too strong. I want the highlights to be that color, but not the rest of the tie. So something like this looks good. And then to make this kind of integrate better, not have this weird edge, what I'm going to do is take both of these. I'm going to take them out of this layer stack. They already have a map, so I don't need them to be in there. I'm going to put them in a group, and then I can add a mask to that group. So we'll call this necktie, and then on the mask with a black brush, small, soft, I'm just going to go along the edge and kind of paint out the effect right on the edge of the tie where it meets the shirt or meets the jacket. Because this tie was red beforehand, it works just fine. Something like this, and just get rid of that kind of color clipping that's going on. There you go. All right, I like that. Next thing I want to do is just add kind of a glow halo effect around the edges of the jacket and even the top of the ears. So to do that, I'm going to Command click on the suit and then hold down Shift and then Command click on the deer. That's going to give me a selection of both the suit and the deer. I'm going to go to the very top of my layer stack, add a new layer called Edge Glow, and I'm going to fill the selection with black. To do that, I'm doing Option Delete or Alt Backspace on a PC. We're going to put this on screen, You can see there's nothing there now. What we're going to do is add an outer glow. And I'm going to put this on 100% opacity and select kind of this yellow color here, kind of the brightest yellow color. And then we'll increase the size of this to probably around 70 pixels. And I'm going to copy this, Command C, and then go to Inner Glow, turn that on, paste that color in here, put this on 100%, and also increase the size of this. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller at about 62%. And then important here is that we go up to blending options and click this one, Layer Mask Hides Effects. So now when I add a layer mask to this, I can actually paint out where I don't want the effect. So first I'll just start with a linear gradient from black and kind of go up from the bottom. That's just going to get rid of it down here. I'm also going to do the same with the antlers here. Then I'm just going to take a brush with black as my foreground color and paint it out of everywhere I don't want it. So I don't want it on the antlers, and I don't want it coming from underneath because that makes no sense. It should really be the top of the ears, the top of the shoulders, maybe a little bit on the top of the nose there. So something like this. Even here on the side, it doesn't make as much sense. So probably something like this. We can kind of have a little bit of on the neck there. Something like that looks really good. We can take the opacity of this down a bit, maybe to about 65%. I think that looks really nice. And that finishes the suit part. The next part is the background.